there are many answers to that question, and I'll come at it from a number of different angles. First of all, what drives me is clearly the lived experience that I have and that I see people continuing to have in Canada. So, there is this wonderful narrative and mythology about Canada as a successful multicultural and immigrant society, but the truth is that when you get to Canada, it is not easy to fit into society, to find work, to understand the rules. So I do it, because I went through that experience and I understand it, but I do it also because I understand, and our foundation understands explicitly, that Canada will only succeed if its newest residents succeed alongside with it. Our demographics are such, our geography is such, our history is such, that it is not, you are not able to imagine a successful Canada without successful immigrants. So in a way, we do this because of our interest in nation building. Canada is a wonderful country. But it has lots to learn, and it has lots more to do. It has lots of space to grow. It needs lots of people. And so, it's a very interesting time and place to work on these issues. Our goal is expressed very simply. It's to collapse the timeframes of integration and settlement. So if it takes 20 years, let's make it 10 years. If it takes 10 years, let's make it 5 years. If it takes 5 years, let's make it 3 years. Quicker, sooner, faster, better. That's what we would like to do. So we look at what's not working. We need to understand the context of the issue. We need to understand the evidence. If the evidence is not there, we need to gather the evidence. But whereas many other institutions, especially academics, are happy to gather the evidence and talk about the problems, we actually take it a step further. We set ourselves to imagining and implementing those solutions that have the greatest power to close that gap in time. That's what we do. Germany certainly can be a wonderful country for immigrants, and so through successful immigration it can secure its future. What does Germany have to offer? My goodness, one of the highest living standards in the world, a booming economy, low rates of unemployment, the rule of law, the free media, the free press, all those wonderful foundational structures of democracy. You have them. So what's there not to like in Germany? Then on top of all that, you have your lakes, your seas, your castles, your beer, your wine, your wonderful culture. What's not to like about Germany? But Germany has also a problem. It needs to conceive of itself as a place that's not simply passively welcoming immigrants. And I actually don't like the word welcome, because I think it has a power dynamic implicit in it. One's a Gastgeber and one's the guest, and there is a power imbalance in that. I think Germany has a long road towards discovering true inclusion. So where the Gastgeber becomes the guest, the homeowner. You know what I mean? Turning around. So I think Germany has a lot of work to do. In particular, I would want Germany to deconstruct, and I know this is extremely difficult in Germany, with German history, German context, but I think it is important for you to find new language. New language that defines who you are, new language that defines who migrants are. Currently, I can see clearly you use terminology that is divisive. There are Germans, and then there are Germans mit Migrationshintergrund. So, Germans A and Germans B. I'm sorry, that's the way I see it. You have to find new language that unifies you all. I don't know what that language is. It's your job to find it. I admire mayors city mayors who have the imagination to understand where the prosperity of their city comes from. So I admire the former mayor of New York, Bloomberg, enormously. The work that he did in New York in propelling business to understand the implications of immigrant prosperity, the way he rearranged city structures, city infrastructures. He was providing services in Spanish and other languages to residents. He also built a nationwide coalition of cities to urge national government to do something about the immigration problem that it has. So I admire him enormously. I admire your mayor in Hamburg, Mayor Schulz, because he, and I don't know if you know this, we know this, he's coming to speak at our conference tomorrow. He sends a personal letter to every new German resident who is eligible to become a citizen. He says to them, "Dear Mr. So-and-so, dear Mrs. So-and-so, you are soon going to become a German citizen. Welcome." He doesn't have to do that. I don't know of any other mayor who does that, by the way. But I think that kind of leadership, that kind of leadership positioning, I admire that when people say, I'm going to step beyond the ordinary. I'm going to take an extraordinary position on this. So I like those two mayors a great deal. If by 2040 Germany is not a country of migration, which means two things to me. It attracts immigrants and immigrants stay. Immigrants stay. Their children go to school. Their children succeed. Their children have children. They become Germans. That's the shift. That's if those two things do not happen, Germany will lose its position as an economic powerhouse. It does not have the people. It does not have the labor market. To take it from where it is today, which is, what I would say, I would suggest to you that Germans are passive-aggressive about immigration. They like it, maybe they don't really like it. And the problem is that whereas your chattering classes, your intellectuals, your academics, your politicians, your foundations all say this is a good thing, the person on the street does not. You have not been able to bring the hearts and minds of ordinary Germans along with you on this conversation. So you've got a lot of work to do. But 2040 is a long time away, so I certainly wish you well.